What's up guys, Longad here, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna make a beat in the style of Brick Bro's latest album, Richer Than I Have Been. So some soulful old sample stuff. We're gonna break down a sample that I made first and then we're gonna make a beat with it. Also, I just dropped my latest sample pack called Oath. It contains 10 dark loops in the style of Q Beats, Nardo Week, Lil Baby, Future, some pretty dark stuff. It's completely free and I'm gonna leave the link down in the description. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this is a preview of the sample that we're gonna break down. So I started off this sample with this vocal chop that I found on Splice, and I used Melodyne to find the chords in order to start to build some odd instruments around it, and this is what the vocal chop sounds like without the effects. So as effects I use Neutron and I use the vocal telephone effect as preset, but I tweak it a little bit to give it the radio effect. Also I added some RC20 and I used this EQ right here to cut some of the lows and some of the highs. Also I switched up the mode from this one to this one to cut more of the highs. Added some distortion and some space for some reverb. And last, I added M12 filter from Arturia, and I used the No Compass preset and put the dry wet at 50%. This one make the vocal sounds a little bit wider and also filter it more. So as I mentioned before, I used Melodyne on the vocal to find the chords. And this is the MIDI that it gave me. I exported, I tweaked it a little bit because it looks a little bit messy here. This is the final MIDI I came up with and I used this one for the piano. And this is what it sounds like. So we in the scale of F sharp minor. So I use Noir Pure from Contact and I use the emotional preset. I added some EQ to cut some of the lows and some of the highs. Added an RC20 and I put some noise, some wobble, some distortion and some space. Also I use this EQ right here to cut more of the lows and a little bit of the highs. Always just to give it the old vintage feeling, and I use cassette to make it sound more vintage, and I use the Insight warm keys and Valhalla Vintage Verb for some reverb. So next I added some brass, and this is what it sounds like. So I just copy the MIDI from the piano and I remove only the top notes. And I used SRX Orchestra from Roland the Library. I only added an EQ to cut some of the lows and some of the highs. Then I used the strings to make it sound the sample more dramatic. And this is what it sounds like. For the strings, I used this one shot from Based One, a Pilgrim Mirage one shot kit. I added some EQ to cut a lot of the lows and a little bit of the highs, and added some reverb. So the sample was almost done, but I knew that I needed some texture sounds, so I used these chimes right here from the Hal Hoog one shot kit. Then I added some percussion stuff, and I used this fill right here. This percussion. Then I use these rims right here from Nami One Shot Kit. I added more rims, and I use this one. And last, I added this crash from a brother bought Abstract One Shot Kit. So altogether, the percussion sounds like this. The last thing that I added is this bass right here, and this is what it sounds like. And I just simply copied the root notes and added these little notes right here to make it sound, you know, more realistic. I use expand, and I use the preset full pick bass. Added the guitar rig, the clean bass preset, some EQ to cut a lot of the highs, and neutron to add more EQ, exciter, and a compressor. So I got the sample pulled up right here, and split it by different sections. Also, I loaded up the sounds that I'm gonna use for the drums. I was planning to do some boom bap drums first, then switch up to the trap drums like on the verses or the hooks. We're gonna figure it out later. And these are the sounds that I'm gonna use for the drums. This is a kick, trap snare, and boom bap snare, some live hi-hat, trap hi-hat, a open hi-hat, a crash, and of course an 808. So now we're gonna start cooking with it, and usually I start from the 808. Then we're gonna add a snare. So we're pretty much done with the beat. I'm gonna let you hear the final result. And appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and see you on the next video. Peace.